Good afternoon, Bhargav. It's Thursday, the 6th of July. Here's the heads up brief for today. For the Southeast Asia production, we covered 24 issues. In North Asia, we covered 9. And for Australasia and Pacific Islands, we covered 4. In South Asia, we covered 19 issues, plus the major issues in Europe, Middle East, and Africa.
Hello there. Thank you. Can we move on to the major issues today?
Right. So in Indonesia, regarding the 2024 presidential elections, the ruling Indonesian Democratic Party of Struggles stated that leader Megawati will announce the presidential nominees' running mates in September. PDIP, her party, has nominated Central Java Governor Ganjar Pranowo, and they are going to decide on a vice presidential candidate by August.
All right. So more political drama continues. Hopefully, there won't be too much of distraction or detraction from what she's trying to do. Any thoughts on that?
I think that she will be looking to install someone who can help her maintain control over the party. As Ganjar is extremely popular, but she is concerned that her influence will be weakened if Ganjar becomes president. So I think that would be one of the driving factors in who PDIP will choose as a vice presidential candidate.
All right. Makes sense. That's interesting. Thank you.
Right. In Thailand, an armed militant and a local negotiator were killed following a clash in Patani province in the deep south. This comes as the military had recently announced that it would withdraw forces by 2027 from the deep south, which has been restive, and there has been a decades-long insurgency. It remains unclear whether the local defense units and the police will be able to control the security environments.
Yes, the southern provinces continue to be a concern for the security forces. We'll have to keep a close eye and keep our clients updated on how things are evolving, especially when they're planning to withdraw forces and if it actually goes through.
Yeah, definitely. And in Papua New Guinea, Indonesian President Joko Widodo went for a visit yesterday, and he signed a number of agreements with Prime Minister James Marape of Papua New Guinea. The agreements were focused on preventing transnational crime and respecting sovereignty and territorial integrity between the two countries.
All right.
In South Asia, in India, the Aam Aadmi Party, which is the ruling party in Delhi, will hold demonstrations in parts of the capital from today until the 13th of July. This is to protest against the Bharatiya Janata Party-led central government. The Aam Aadmi Party is saying that the central government is preventing the Delhi government from functioning independently.
Yes, this is a long-running tussle between the Delhi government and the central government led by two different parties. And AAP has been a major critique of the incumbent BJP for a long time. Arvind Kejriwal is in his third term. The first term was controversial, but the first, second, and the third term were full terms. However, the bone of contention remains the status of Delhi as a union territory, which doesn't give it the liberties and the autonomy what the states do get. A major parts of the Delhi government's authority is ceded to the central government, including law enforcement, and there have been quite a few issues in the court which are pending at the moment. So the tussle will continue unless there is some sort of a consortium between the two parties, which is very unlikely in the coming future. This is a major issue in a multi-party democracy, which is federal, when the state government and the central government are led by two different parties. They are bound to butt heads. But we did not see this when mature politicians were actually at the helm of affairs, both in Delhi and in the center. For example, Vajpayee and Sheila Dikshit in early 2000s.
Right. Yeah. And lastly, in the Middle East, thousands of protesters in Israel rallied nationwide following the resignation of the Tel Aviv police commander. These protests have been ongoing against the judicial reforms, which is expected to be implemented by the end of the month. The police commander said that he resigned because he refused to use disproportionate force during the weekly protests against reforms under pressure from authorities.
All right. So it is a matter of I wouldn't say shame, but it's a matter of regret uh, to what extent the right-wing parties have fallen to in Israel. They fail to realize that the constitutional parameters which are in place since David Ben-Gurion have protected the state, have kept the governance objective and free from political influences to a greater extent, especially when compared to the neighborhood. And those parameters have helped Israel become one of the beacon of democracy as well as a liberal country when compared to the neighborhood and in comparison with the West. Uh, when major when major components of the constitution are being diluted, uh, there will be cracks in the overall state structure and the administrative processes, and we are seeing this. If we look at the statements from the IDF commander and very recently now with the police commanders, they are uh, showing their dissonance to the movements towards the right, which are trying to dilute the constitution. So this will affect the business environment as well, unless they tighten their grip over the fast devolving situation on the ground and at the constitutional level.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out on this and see how it develops over the next month. Bhargav. That's the heads up brief for today. Anything else from you?
Nothing else from my end. Thanks for that.